Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead Girls Golf Team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
Why choose Kelly Chevrolet? We offer a wide selection of new and used inventory with a team that guides you to your perfect fit. Our certified pre-owned options ensure peace of mind with warranties and rigorous inspections. Competitive pricing, flexible financing, and convenient trade and services, making your dream Chevrolet a reality. Trust our experienced service team to keep your vehicle in top shape and enjoy free car washes as long as you own your vehicle.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Parkview Field here in downtown Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm Thad Goff. Matt Jackson is my cameraman, and we have got the last day of the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic coming up here from Parkview Field. That's right, today is the last day. We do have doubleheader action, and today it's the Bellmont Braves versus the Heritage Patriots. Patriots are the home team for this game, and the Braves serving as the visiting team for this game today. Now, Bellmont, they come into this game at 5-8 on the season. Their most recent win was not too long ago. It was back on May 3rd, just 4 days ago, as they took on the Wayne Generals, and the Braves came out victorious in that one. 12-7 was the final score. Of course, one of the challenges that the Braves have is they play in the Northeast 8 Conference, which is very competitive, possibly the most competitive conference in the area. Certainly you can make a case for it, though some schools would probably like to say that that's not the case. And so far, Heritage has gone up against some pretty challenging opponents. They've played Huntington North, who's one of the teams tied for first in the NE8. Norwell, who's having a good season, they lost that game 7-5, and then they lost to Columbia City 7-4. So the competition has been tough for Bellmont, but they're hoping that they can come into this game and come away with an upset against a very good Heritage team. And yes, Heritage does have a very good team this year. 11-1 at this point is their overall record. They were supposed to play Woodland last night. I'll check in on what the status was with that game, whether or not that game was played. Some area games were not played due to rain and poor field conditions that we had yesterday. Most of that was in the morning when we had the rain, but the poor field conditions persisted. That's why we didn't have the PSM Baseball Classic yesterday, was because of poor field conditions. The field was just too wet and wasn't playable, basically, was the reason why we didn't have the games yesterday. We were supposed to have Montpelier versus Antwerp, a couple of Ohio teams. Then we were supposed to have Eastside versus Fairfield, so those games were postponed. They won't be played here. Games will likely be made up, but they won't be made up here at Parkview Field, as we've got the Heritage Patriots starting lineup being introduced. Just had the Bellmont Braves starting lineup introduced a moment ago. Go ahead and give you Bellmont's lineup for today. Will Baker, starting shortstop, leads things off. He'll be followed by Lane Lemaster, who's the starting first baseman. Bo Baker, Will's cousin, starts at third, and he bats third. Batting cleanup is Kagan Lee, the designated hitter, batting in the spot that would be occupied by Matt Blakey, the starting pitcher for Bellmont. Oliver Whirling bats fifth. He's the catcher. Gavin Kroll, the right fielder, bats sixth. Aiden Zimmerman, the left fielder, bats seventh. Center fielder George Gardner bats eighth. And Mason Martinez, the starting second baseman, rounds out the batting order. And it looks like they're just about done announcing the starting lineup for Heritage. We're just about to have the national anthem. We'll take a quick break and come back to give you the starting defense for Heritage and have our game's first pitch here on SummitCitySports.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead Girls Golf Team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
Why choose Kelly Chevrolet? We offer a wide selection of new and used inventory with a team that guides you to your perfect fit. Our certified pre-owned options ensure peace of mind with warranties and rigorous inspections. Competitive pricing, flexible financing, and convenient trade and services, making your dream Chevrolet a reality. Trust our experienced service team to keep your vehicle in top shape and enjoy free car washes as long as you own your vehicle.
We're back here at Parkview Field. This is the PSM Baseball Classic right here on SummitCitySports.com. Gave you the starting lineup for Bellmont just a moment ago. Here's the defense for Heritage. Easton Rowe starts at first base. Landry Taylor starts at second. Starting at third is Elijah Rauner. Cam Rauner starts at shortstop. Bo Stoppenhagen starts in left field. Lucas Taylor is the starting center fielder. The starting right fielder is Corbin Salfrank. Starting catcher is Mason Abbott, and Max Miralles is the starting pitcher for today for the Heritage Patriots, coached by Dean Lehrman. Dean Lehrman has been the head coach since 1987, was at Woodland before taking over at Heritage. He's got a great team to be proud of this year, 11-1 so far this season, and currently 2-0 in the Allen County Athletic Conference. Max Morella is making his third appearance of the year. Check that, his fourth appearance. Record-wise, he's 2-0 on the season as he'll face the top of the Bellmont order to start out here at Parkview Field. Top of the order in this case is Will Baker. And Will Baker takes a first pitch on the corner, called a strike. As Miralles hitting the bottom of the zone, it looked like that time. He's pitched 8 innings coming into this game with 10 strikeouts. Not a bad series so far, and not a bad start to this game as he gets the strikeout of Baker. That will send Lane LeMaster to the plate. That's what I had on my roster, was Lane LeMaster on my lineup card, and that is the correct batter. We saw Miralles hit the zone his first few pitches, get a 3-pitch strikeout. So far he's behind in this count 2-0 with LeMaster. Falls behind 3-0. Maybe a generous call there, but he gets it. And it officially goes down as strike one. LeMaster batting .265 on the season with 4 RBIs. Right now, trying to get on base, and looks like he will. They do appeal down to first, and it is ball 4. And that'll send up Bo Baker. Bo Baker is the cousin of Will Baker, the leadoff hitter, and Bo currently batting .167 on the year. But he comes up with a man aboard. Go back to first is not in time. Garrison Breggy and Aaron Baker serve as co-head coaches of the Bellmont team. Aaron Baker also the athletic director for Bellmont High School. Of course, their girls basketball team had a great season. They were champions of the Northeast State Conference. Of course, for Bellmont baseball, you're kind of finding out how competitive the Northeast State Conference is when it comes to baseball. It's very competitive, especially a couple teams I didn't mention earlier. Leo and DeKalb are undefeated on the season. They were champions of the Northeast State Conference. Swing and a miss. And the count goes to 0-2. Well, we've seen Marilace come out throwing strikes early, but then had the 5-pitch walk moments ago. Ahead in this count, and he misses downstairs. Garrison Breggy said coming into this game, I expect a good challenge from Heritage. As shown by the record, they're having a very good year. I expect them to come out strong and with a lot of confidence. Our team is going to have to match that confidence and play a clean and aggressive game in order to have success. Right now, Bo Baker's worked it back even. Called a strike on the inside corner that time. So that's 2 Ks this inning for Miralays. Well, here's Kagan Lee. He's batting .333 on the year with 9 RBIs. He is the leading run producer for the Braves so far this season. It's a called strike on the outer part of the plate. Regarding Lee, Coach Breggy had this to say: Kagan has had a very good year at the plate. His success is due to the work he has put in during the offseason and his approach at the plate. There goes the runner. Throw down to second. On a line, but not in time. LeMaster steals it. And a runner in scoring position for the Braves early on here. Now Mason Abbott, the catcher, coming out to have a word with Max Miralays. Some more of what Coach Breggy had to say about Kagan Lee coming into this game. Quote, he's a confident hitter who has the most success when he stays focused and doesn't try to do too much. When he focuses on hitting hard line drives up the middle, his strength and mechanics produce positive results. And where the infielders are playing here, a line drive up the middle is probably a run on the board for Bellmont, unless it's hit too sharply and they can't send the runner. 1-2 the count here on Lee. He's the designated hitter batting in Matt Blakey's spot, if you will. Oh, that's way high. Of course, Parkview Field is the home to the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. They are the High A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. Another one upstairs. Miralays going with that fastball. You got Gavin Kroll due up on deck. Interesting piece and tidbit about Gavin Kroll as well as some of his teammates. I beg your pardon, that's Oliver Whirling who's in the on-deck circle. Gavin Kroll bats after Whirling. There goes the runner. Swing and a miss. It doesn't matter. You could say LeMaster was going for broke. It's Miralays who gets the strikeout to end the frame. Max Miralays closes it out with the K, and we will go to the bottom of the first inning in just a moment. Right now, I'll go ahead and read off the starting lineup for the Heritage Patriots, who stand at 11-1. Might even give you a chance to take a look back at that strikeout, maybe a couple of strikeouts, before we get the bottom of the first started. Bo Stoppenhagen is the starting left fielder. He'll lead things off, and he'll be followed by the shortstop, Cam Ronner. Easton Rowe, the first baseman, will bat third. Landry Taylor, the second baseman, bats cleanup. Lucas Taylor, the center fielder, bats fifth. He'll be followed by Landon Liebarger, the designated hitter, batting in the spot that would be occupied by right fielder Corbin Salfrank. Max Miralays bats seventh. Batting eighth is Mason Abbott. And Elijah Ronner, the third baseman, bats ninth to round out the order for the Heritage Patriots. Defensively for the Bellmont Braves, Lane Lemaster, who you saw steal second, gets the start at first. Starting at second today is Mason Martinez. Starting at shortstop is Will Baker. Bo Baker starts at third base. In left field, it's Aiden Zimmerman. In center field, George Gardner. In right field, it's Gavin Kroll. Oliver Whirling behind the plate. Right now, he's not doing the catching. That's because he was in the on-deck circle with only his knee guards on. So he's got to get the rest of his gear on, but he's got it, and he's on his way out, and he'll do the catching for Matt Blakey. Matt Blakey has a 4.67 ERA. He's making his fifth appearance of the season. He's pitched 12 innings so far this year, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks, 13 hits, 10 runs surrendered. 8 of those have been earned, and he goes up against a very good Heritage lineup. 11-1 on the season is the record for Heritage. They'll have Bo Stoppenhagen leading things off. And while we've got a moment, we'll go ahead and show you that last strikeout, maybe even the second strikeout. It wasn't necessarily right down the middle for Miralays, but take a look at this last at bat. Got him to chase a pitch that was kind of up in the zone, a little bit on the inner part of the plate. Not an easy pitch to locate for a hitter. And Kagan Lee was not able to locate it. So ultimately, Miralays strikes out the side for the Heritage Patriots there in the top of the first. Now in the bottom of the first, we bring up Bo Stoppenhagen, not Ben. And it is spelled in what you might call the Cajun way, the B-E-A-U spelling. He's batting .412 on the year. Stoppenhagen is the Patriots' leading run producer, and he has a home run. Right now, that'd be the only way he were to produce a home run if he were to do so. It'd have to be the home run at this at-bat, only because there's nobody on base. But he can get on base to create a scoring opportunity for his team. He takes a first pitch strike here. Blakey went to the outside corner with that pitch. Try to go outside corner again, a little further outside that time. Maybe trying to get Stoppenhagen to chase, and he held up. That's well off the plate. 2-1 the count. Popped him up. That's out of play and over the roof. Lands on top of the roof here at Parkview Field, and looks like it's going to be a souvenir for somebody. It just rolled back off. Again, Stoppenhagen batting .412. He's a junior. Called strike 3. Blakey with the punch out to start the ball game for Bellmont. That'll send Cam Ronner to the plate, batting .457 on the year. 13 RBIs. He's one of three usual players hitting over 500 on this, over 400 rather on the season. Easton Rowe is hitting over 500 on the year, and he's a usual starter. He is starting today. That's a well-hit ball off the bat of Ronner, but it's foul. taken upstairs for ball one. Here's a look at that strikeout moments ago. Replays brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Blakey again, outer part of the plate. Fastball there, and was well located. Stoppenhagen could not pull the trigger. Ronner lays off that one. It's well outside. Well, Blakey has the strikeout so far. We've seen him labor for the first few at-bats. I believe it was 5 pitches the first at-bat. So far, it's now 4 pitches, and we've seen some contact from Ronner. Not afraid to pull the bat off his shoulders. So far, he's fouled off a couple pitches, and those are the 2 strikes in this count. And I think that's Stoppenhagen who's warming up in the pen. Flared to the right side. That's playable. And Martinez makes the catch at second base for out number 1. Make it out number 2. That'll send Easton Rowe to the plate. Beg your pardon, Easton Rowe. Now, Easton Rowe and Lucas Taylor have both been having good seasons. Head coach Dean Lehrman had a little something to say about those guys. I'll tell you after this next pitch. It's called a strike. Lehrman had this to say, quote, Ice and Lucas are the cornerstones of our team despite their youth. They're very hardworking, talented. As this ball is laced down the line, Stoppenhagen gets out of the way. It's a foul ball. That was close. I'll try and finish the quote here from Lehrman. Quote, they are very hardworking, talented leaders. We refer to them as thunder and lightning. Easton leads the team in extra base hits, and Lucas is very quick on the base paths and patrolling center field. Now, Rowe is the starter at first base, and first basemen tend to be known for their power and run-producing abilities. You can say that about Rowe. Does not have a home run this year, but he does have 13 RBIs, and he's batting over 500, but a swing and a miss. And it's Blakey who strikes out the side here in inning number 1. Nothing but strikeouts so far for the pitchers. Correction, that's 2 strikeouts for Blakey here in the first. And we'll go to the second on SummitCitySports.com.
Why choose Kelly Chevrolet? We offer a wide selection of new and used inventory with a team that guides you to your perfect fit. Our certified pre-owned options ensure peace of mind with warranties and rigorous inspections. Competitive pricing, flexible financing, and convenient trade and services, making your dream Chevrolet a reality. Trust our experienced service team to keep your vehicle in top shape and enjoy free car washes as long as you own your vehicle.
No score. And indeed, Bo Stoppenhagen is now pitching. So that's interesting. 1 inning pitch for Miralles. Stoppenhagen was warming up in the pen. They're in the bottom of the first inning. So Miralles goes 1 inning, and Stoppenhagen will take his place, at least for the time being. Last pitch misses way high. Of course, he hasn't yet faced a batter. We'll see what happens when he does. That is, he hasn't yet faced a batter in this game. Does have 1 appearance on the mound this year, but Stoppenhagen has pitched 1 inning so far this season, at least from what I'm seeing. He's given up 1 hit, but he also has a strikeout, has not surrendered any runs, not yet. That's a small sample size, but interesting to see Heritage go into the pen this early in the ball game. Well, here's Oliver Whirling, and an interesting thing about Whirling is he is a multi-sport athlete. Now, that's not unusual for high school athletes. see a lot of players who are multi-sport athletes. Orling does play football. He also plays volleyball. Now, volleyball here in Indiana, at least boys volleyball, is a spring sport. So he's playing baseball and volleyball at the same time of year. That means he's probably got to pick and choose as to what practices he go to. Today I'm going to baseball. Tomorrow I'm going to volleyball. That's a good stop by Stoppenhagen at the mound. Gets the comebacker and gets the out. That'll send Gavin Kroll to the plate. Now, Kroll is also playing baseball and volleyball, so it's not entirely uncommon on this Bellmont team to see guys playing both baseball and boys volleyball. Again, both are spring sports in the state of Indiana. Of course, you're probably familiar that girls volleyball is a fall sport here in the state of Indiana, but not so with boys volleyball. On the corner for a called strike. In just a moment, we'll show you that last comebacker. Now, for a guy who's only pitched one inning, Stoppenhagen fielded his position really well. That's good location right on the corner. Here's another look at that ground ball. Came right back up the middle. You know, those comebackers are not easy to field, especially when you have to reach down like Stoppenhagen did, but he gets the ball, makes his throw, and gets the first out of the inning. It's a 1-2 count, meanwhile, on Gavin Kroll, and that's down and away for ball one. Gavin Kroll batting .214 on the year with 5 RBIs. Bellmont has a base runner in this game. Heritage does not. That's well hit but foul the other way. Onto the concourse along that first base line. That was PA announcer Morgan Olson calling for fans to return foul balls to the dugouts. One fan just hustled quick up those stairs to get to that foul ball. Call it a temporary souvenir. Meanwhile, 3-2 the count here on Gavin Kroll. Aiden Zimmerman is on deck. Whirling was the first Bellmont batter to make contact so far in this game, or at least to put the ball in play. Oh, that looked like a generous call. It's called strike 3, and Stoppenhagen has his first K of the ball game, second of the year. That must have tailed away at the end. Gavin Kroll was ready to run to first, and the call did not look immediate. Get a look at that in a second. Here's Aiden Zimmerman coming up. That's well off the plate. Again, these replays brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Did this pitch catch the zone? A little closer than I thought. Had some tail to it. Looked like a curveball there. Zimmerman slaps that one foul, and that's not coming back fair. Zimmerman batting .263 on the year with 2 RBIs. He's played in 11 games so far for the Braves this season. He laces that one into center field. That looks playable. Taylor with a diving catch, or is it? It is Lucas Taylor with the web gem. Well, Dean Lehrman raved about his speed in center field as well as on the bases. We just saw it in center field. Center fielder has to cover a lot of ground, but this time Taylor had to come in to make this catch. You'll see it right here. Diving in front, face first, and Taylor's able to pull it in. That replay, as always, brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. You'll see Taylor leading off here in the bottom half of the second inning. First, a few words from our sponsors that allow us to do these games that we get to do on SummitCitySports.com. Big Eyed Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations. Enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment at Big Eyed Fish. New state-of-the-art car wash facilities, free car washes when you buy from Kelly Automotive, shopdrivekelly.com. Today's broadcast is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Follow us on Twitter at 260Sports. Like our Facebook page, Summit City Sports, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Earn your edge this season. PSM's Edge Training Program maximizes your athleticism through personalized performance training to reach your goals and get you to the next level. Visit ParkviewSportsMedicine.com/edge to schedule your free consultation. Well, I said Lucas Taylor's leading off. He's actually batting second this inning. It will be Landry Taylor who leads things off for the Heritage Patriots. Landry and then Lucas. And then Max Miralays is supposed to hit next. Or check that, Landon Liebarger, who is currently serving as the designated hitter. So we get our big screen down, swing and a miss at the breaking ball. Landry Taylor batting .351. That's Lucas Taylor, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, Landry Linder. Had the wrong last name, it's Linder. And Linder laces it up the middle, that's a base hit. And that will send Lucas Taylor, who made that diving catch out in center field, to the plate. One on. And nobody out for the Patriots. Taylor batting .351 this year. 8 RBIs. He's hit 2 doubles. As Dean Lehrman said, my pregame email with him, as that ball is put down for a bunt to second. Throw's going to come to second. They got him. Will Baker got his foot back down, and so they get Linder off the bases, and they get the lead runner. That'll send Landon Liebarger to the plate. .350 hitter, 6 RBIs on the year. And you know, when you put those bunts down, the idea is to bunt away from the pitcher. You don't want to bunt it back to the pitcher. The ball was slightly bunted to the right by Lucas Taylor, but not far enough away from the pitcher to prevent Blakey from going over to second, and he got the out over there. Didn't make it easy, but Will Baker was able to catch the ball and get his foot back down. And we have another arm warming up in the pen. There goes the runner. That's Taylor. Off towards second. Good throw. They got him. Oliver Whirling with the throw to Baker. I beg your pardon, Martinez with the tag. And another runner erased off the paths by the Braves. And Blakey's got a chance to make this a 1-2-3 inning. And that's exactly what he does. That Bellmont defense coming up big, including the throw by Whirling to Martinez to get the speedy Lucas Taylor off the bases. We've played 2 so far here at Parkview Field. 3rd inning coming up on SummitCitySports.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Why choose Kelly Chevrolet? We offer a wide selection of new and used inventory with a team that guides you to your perfect fit. Our certified pre-owned options ensure peace of mind with warranties and rigorous inspections. Competitive pricing, flexible financing, and convenient trade and services, making your dream Chevrolet a reality. Trust our experienced service team to keep your vehicle in top shape, and enjoy free car washes as long as you own your vehicle.
Well, the Bellmont defense showing something here. Here's Oliver Whirling with a good throw to gun down the speedy Lucas Taylor on his way to second base. Taylor taking off right on the pitch. Good throw by Whirling, and Martinez with the tag. Taylor kind of away from the bag, had to reach back with his left hand, but it was too late. Martinez gets him. And we remain scoreless going into the third. Bottom of the order coming up. This will be George Gardner, followed by Mason Martinez, who made that great tag over at second. And then the top of the order and Will Baker. So far, George Gardner batting just 174 on the year. Bellmont is 5-8 on the season, but they're not going through any kind of losing streak just yet. They did lose their last game. But before that, they beat Wayne to get their 5th victory of the season, a swing and a miss there. And, of course, Bellmont plays in the very competitive Northeast 8 Conference. And last I checked, you're even seeing New Haven start to improve. Now, New Haven's been coached by Dave Bischoff for quite some time. Been very successful, led them to a sectional championship in 2019. Championship game against Concordia. A little swing and a miss there. Meanwhile, another pitching change has been made. It's fouling out of play. It's Easton Rowe, who's on the mound now for Heritage. Swing and a miss. Rowe battles back to get the strikeout. Well, 3 pitchers in 3 innings, and that's interesting because it's 3 scoreless innings so far for Heritage. Mason Martinez coming to the plate. He had that tag from second as that ball skips in the dirt. That must have come out awkwardly because that ball landed. I think it actually landed in the infield grass. Taken inside, 2-0 the count. Rowe has a good ERA. 1.91 is his earned run average so far. But so far, this at-bat has not been able to find the strike zone. He's pitched 7 1/3 innings. In that frame, he's struck out 7. Ball 4. Walked him on 4. Bellmont does not yet have a hit, but that's the second walk that they've drawn. That's Brody Clear, who's now at first base. As Baker squares to bunt, then pulls it back. It was taken upstairs for ball 1. Rose struck out George Gardner to lead off this inning, then walked Mason Martinez on 4 pitches. That bunt put down. That was a good jump over there at first by Gardner, or rather by Martinez. He'll get to second. The throw to first is in time. That ball was bunted slightly to the right of the mound. It went slow enough that Rowe would not have had an easy play to second, and Martinez showing some speed on the bases there. That'll send Lane Lemaster to the plate. So far, every pitcher for Heritage has pitched 1 inning so far. Lemaster pops it up. That's going out of play. Down and away. Well, aside from the bunt and that foul ball, Rowe has struggled to find the strike zone here in this third inning. Slap foul and out of play. Of course, even with those struggles, he's got a chance to get out of this inning unscathed, but Bellmont looking to push across the game's first run. Bellmont, one of two Northeast State Conference teams we'll see today. Throw goes down to third, and it gets away. Martinez into third, and now he's coming home. Throw not in time as Martinez goes tumbling over the plate, and Bellmont leads it 1-0. The throwing error behind the plate gets Bellmont across the board. Abbott threw that well wide of third. Yeah, it looked like Rauner was right on the bag, ready to make the tag, but the throw went well wide of him. A good throw probably gets the runner. Count is 2-2. Ground ball hit to second. Linder, the throw to first in time. Well, Bellmont gets on the board. Perhaps not in the way they would have expected, but they have a 1-0 lead over the 11-1 Heritage Patriots. And we'll show you how it happened right here on our replay, brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Martinez stealing all the way. And again, a good throw might have gotten him. At least would have been close. Interesting way to come across the plate there. You see there, Abbott does look like he's blocking the plate, although if Martinez comes in sliding, he's got a chance to get the plate with his left hand. But he didn't come in sliding. He just came in running straight up. But no interference in play there because the run did score. As we get a few more words in from our sponsors that allow us to do these games that we get to do on SummitCitySports.com. The 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Labor's District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. Online degree programs at the University of St. Francis are built for convenience and flexibility. Most degrees can be completed in 12 months. Visit online.sf.edu. Specialists in design, build, mechanical, and refrigeration. Visit tjwindustrial.com. Bellmont doesn't have a hit, but they have the lead. Mason Martinez steals third and then takes home on the throwing error by Mason Abbott behind the plate. Max Morellis coming to the plate to lead things off for Heritage. He will be followed by Mason Abbott and Elijah Rauner. That is the bottom third of the order for Heritage. Slap the other way. Base hit! Out of the reach of Baker. It's a leadoff single for Morellis. Mason Abbott will come to the plate. And Abbott, though he is the 8-hole hitter, he's batting .483 on the year. That's in 31 plate appearances, so it's not a small sample size, and he does have 7 RBIs. He slaps it the other way. That's a base hit. Back-to-back opposite field singles for the Patriots. And it looks like the Patriots are calling for a courtesy runner. Dean Lehrman will make the change with the home plate umpire. I'm trying to get a look at that runner over there at first. It can't be number 9 because that's who's at the plate right now, Elijah Rauner. There we go, Jackson Feesby. The announcement from Morgan Olson inside the PA booth, which is also technically the video booth. That's where video crew director Melissa Herring and assistant video crew director Jared Law and the other folks at the Tin Caps work behind the scenes of every Fort Wayne Tin Caps game. Squaring to bunt is Rauner, and he pops it up. Lucky for him, that ball comes all the way out of play. Now, you want to get that bunt down. You don't want to risk not only being caught out, but having a runner doubled up when you put down the bunt. You want to get that bunt down because those runners are going to be getting a head start in all likelihood. We'll see if Rauner squares again here. He does, and it gets away. Probably going to be a wild pitch. That ball was well inside, and Whirling had to reach for it a little bit. 1-1 the count, and the runners move up 90 feet. Now I could see here keeping the bunt on. You got LeMaster playing close to the bag over at first base. Not quite playing in, but they're not going to keep it on, and now with 2 strikes, no way you're putting the bunt on, you would think. If Rauner were to bunt here with 2 strikes and foul it off, it would be a strikeout. Rauner is batting .233 on the year, 5 RBIs, and an RBI chance here with a 1-2 count. On the ground toward first. Throw's not going to come home. LeMaster will take first, but Rauner does the job. And we got a tie ball game here at Parkview Field. Morellis comes home on the ground out. We're back to the top of the order. Bo Stoppenhagen, leading run producer for these Heritage Patriots. He's got 15 RBIs. Stoppenhagen, Rauner, and possibly Rowe. This one's lifted to right field. That's playable. It's caught. Throw comes home. And in to score is Feasby, who is tagging on the play, and Heritage takes the lead on the sac fly. Make that 16 RBIs for Bo Stoppenhagen. Well, the base is now empty, but it's 2 runs on the board for Heritage, and Cam Rauner will come to the plate. Batting .457, he has 2 home runs on the season. 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. He is the leading home run hitter for these Heritage Patriots, and he takes a strike at the top portion of the zone. There are a few good power hitters in the lineup for Columbia City. Plenty of good run producers. They'll be playing Garrett when this game gets all said and done. Laced foul and out of play. Easton Rowe, who was pitching in the top of the 3rd, is on deck. We'll see if they have him take the mound again in the 4th. It's a swing and a miss. The ball gets away, and there to make the tag is Whirling. That'll finish off the strikeout. But back-to-back singles, both opposite field singles, followed by productive outs. A sacrifice ground out by Elijah Rauner and a sac fly by Bo Stoppenhagen. Give Heritage the lead. They're up 2-1 as we go to the 4th on SummitCitySports.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Now I'm in here working out, and it's helping me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders, get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
Well, Heritage takes the lead 2-1. Bottom of the 3rd started with back-to-back opposite field singles. Max Morellis and Mason Abbott making that happen. And then Morellis came in to score on this sacrifice ground out by Elijah Rauner. With LeMaster not playing in over there at first, you just hit the ground ball to the right side. All Rauner had to do was put the ball in play, and it's a run across the board, run across the plate and on the board, and a tie game. And Jackson Feasby scored on the sac fly hit by Bo Stoppenhagen. Here's that on our Traction AP replay. Just a line drive the other way. Was well tracked by Kroll out in right field, but Feasby comes home. The throw offline, a little up the base. And Heritage takes a 2-1 lead by doing the little things. Bo Baker stands in. He takes the first pitch strike. It is Easton Rowe who's back on the mound for Heritage. This is his second inning of work. Heritage has used 3 pitchers in this game. But they've only allowed the 1 run. Foul tipped into the glove for strike 2. Bo Baker, Kagan Lee, and Oliver Whirling coming up. And then if we get that far, it would be Gavin Kroll. Baker was a strikeout victim his last time up. That was with Max Morella's on the bump. Pitch on the way, and it's fouled off. Baker putting together a good fight. Baker batting just 167 coming into this game, 4 RBIs. That one skips in and out of the glove of Abbott. Corbin Solfrank, the right fielder, playing in over in right field. Stoppenhagen is out in left field, playing fairly regular depth. Then you got Lucas Taylor playing in further than Stoppenhagen. That ball hits Bo Baker in the back. He'll take his base. That will send up Kagan Lee. Lee did strike out his last time up, but he's having a good season. Batting .333, 9 RBIs. That looked good from up here. It's called ball 1. See a lot of red, white, and blue today. Those are the colors for Heritage as the runner goes, and that ball skips in the dirt. Baker will have second easily. He's going for 3. Throw comes to third. The tag, not in time. On a wild pitch, Baker gets second easily and takes third. Gets there just in time before the tag, and the tying run is 90 feet away. That's fouled off to make it a 2-1 count. Well, now the corner infielders are in, looking for a play at the plate. Elijah Rauner in at third as well. 3-1 the count. Brody clears the first baseman. He's playing somewhat of a regular depth over there at first in case a play cannot be made at the plate. There's ball 4, and you got runners on the corners. And it looks like the corner infielders will go back to double play depth. And Oliver Whirling will come to the plate. Even a double play here gets a run home for Bellmont. Swing and a miss. A little upstairs fastball. Clear guarding the bag with a runner on first. There goes the runner. Throw comes down. It's cut off. The tag in time. Baker did not come home. Lee is out on his way to second. Mason Abbott had a throwing error earlier, and now all the infielders come in with no force play. Say the only force play is at first, but now with this threat from Bellmont, we have another arm in the pen for Heritage. And I think that's Feasby, who was in as a courtesy runner not too long ago. Looked good from here. It's called ball 3. Oliver Whirling plays baseball and volleyball. Those sports take place the same time of year. Here's the payoff. That's called strike 3, and Whirling with no argument whatsoever. Prior pitch looked like it was on the corner, was not called a strike. That pitch looked like it was inside, was called a strike. But still a scoring chance as Gavin Kroll comes to the plate, a swing and a miss. Easton Rowe was on the mound last inning when Bellmont got their first run across. He's trying to prevent back-to-back scoring innings for the Braves. On the ground to third. Scooped up at third. Rauner's throw in time. Heritage recovers from the leadoff hit batter and wild pitch. Elijah Rauner with a good throw from third, and it remains 2-1. And we'll take a look at that replay. It's brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Rauner fielded with the glove out in front, had to make sure he got it cleanly. Then all he had to do was make a good throw over to first. He did, and he got him by about a full step, maybe even more than that. Great defense there by Rauner, who also has an RBI in this game to get the final out in the top of the fourth. As right now, we've got a brief chance to get in some words from a few of our sponsors. Tom Steele Tire has been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. They will help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services. At Ottenweiler Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process from bid to build. Visit OttenweilerContracting.com. Well, the announcement was just made. A happy birthday wish to Will Baker, the shortstop for Bellmont today's game. Happy birthday, Will, as it was just announced here at the stadium. He's hoping that he can celebrate it with a win, but right now it's Heritage leading 2-1. Summit Volleyball trains and builds the highest quality volleyball players in the area from ages 5 to 18. Jump on board. Together we can reach the summit. So far, Heritage has used 3 pitchers in 4 innings. They've only allowed 1 run. But Bellmont has gotten runners on base in, well, every inning so far, except for the second. Second inning started with a ground out by Oliver Whirling back to the mound, then a strikeout of Gavin Kroll, and then Aiden Zimmerman lined out to center field. Lucas Taylor took away what would have been a base hit. And now the Patriots come to the plate with Easton Rowe leading things off in the bottom of the fourth. He was the starting pitcher the last 2 innings, or should say was the pitcher the last 2 innings. He came on in relief. Max Merles was the starting pitcher. He only pitched 1 inning. Then Bo Stoppenhagen pitched for an inning. And now Kagan Lee pitching for Bellmont. This will be the first inning that he's pitched today. Rowe so far 0 for 1. But he is having a good season. And Jackson Feasby looked like he was warming up in the bullpen at the top of this 4th inning. So we'll see if he comes on the bump in the bottom of the frame. Here's the 0-1. That's laced down the line, but foul and well out of play. And that'll take a bounce onto the concourse. I think that actually bounced off one of those picnic tables over there at the Huntington University Picnic Pavilion. The 0-2 on the way. Breaking ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Easton Rowe with a leadoff single. Well, it was back-to-back singles to start the third that ultimately led to 2 runs crossing the plate. Morales led it off with a single the other way. Then Mason Abbott singled the other way. Morales came in to score on Elijah Ronner's sacrifice groundout. And Bo Stoppenhagen with a sac fly to get Jackson Feesby home. He was a courtesy runner for Abbott. And here is Landry Linder. He swings at the first pitch, grounded to third. Throw's going to come to second. They'll get the lead runner. That'll be it. Lucas Taylor grounded into a fielder's choice. He did reach on that fielder's choice. That got Linder thrown out at second. That's the downside of putting the ball in play with a runner on base. You're liable to a double play. Downside of the bunt is you basically give away free outs. Unless you've got a guy who can leg it out and get an infield single out of that bunt. Oh, curveball there from Kagan Lee for a strike. Landon Liebarger on deck. That one catches the zone. And Taylor finds himself behind in this count 0-2. Taylor batting .351 with 8 RBIs this season. He slaps that one foul to keep the at-bat alive. Not much wind today here at Parkview Field. Flags are kind of swaying slightly in the breeze. Here's the 0-2. Down and away, that's ball 1. So far, Linder has not taken off to try and steal second. And that one skips off the foot of Whirling, and now into second is Linder. A wild pitch allows him to move up 90 feet. Now, we've seen the Patriots hit to the opposite field. It's probably going to leave a lot of space on the right side of that infield. Martinez not playing right on the bag, but playing very close to it. And now he ranges over, and it's a good thing he did. That ground ball comes the other way, and Martinez will get the out at second. That will allow the runner to move to third. Martinez read that like a book as Taylor grounded out to a good spot, or what would have been a good spot. Martinez covered that spot, fielded it, and got the put out. Here's Landon Liebarger. Liebarger batting .350 on the year. An RBI chance here with 2 outs. It's one thing Heritage does not yet have. They do not have a 2-out run. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, nobody has a 2-out run yet. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Actually, I think Belmont's run came with 2 outs. It was Martinez coming around to score. 1-1 on the way, and that's slapped foul and out of play. Another one goes to the concourse, and that's that same kid who was running up to chase after a foul ball earlier. Patriots trying to add to their lead, up 2-1, and that ball is laced but foul. All the way over to the Toyota field boxes. Max Morales is on deck. He had the leadoff single to start the third inning for Heritage. That's when they got their 2 runs. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout by Lee to keep it a 1-run game. Bellmont still in it as we go to the 5th. We'll be back after this on SummitCitySports.com.
I was diagnosed with a 3rd-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
The future is what you make it, so make it matter. At the University of St. Francis, we'll help you build a purposeful life, one based on your interests, goals, and desire to make the world a better place. Learning is personal here. You'll be known by name, supported by experts, and connected to professional opportunities. Our Catholic values will inspire you to use your education for the greater good by serving and leading others. Remember, the future is what you make it. Build a life of meaning and purpose at St. Francis. You belong here.
Heritage on top 2-1 as we go to the 5th inning. Bellmont has put a runner on base in every inning except the 2nd so far in this game. They've got just 1 run to show for it, and that was off a throwing error from Mason Abbott. Of course, Abbott made up for that with a single with a runner on first in the top of the 3rd. Jackson Feasby, who courtesy ran for him, came around to score on Bo Stoppenhagen's sacrifice fly. Both runs for Heritage coming on sacrifice plays, a ground out and a sac fly. Ground out was by Elijah Ronner. Easton Rowe still in the game on the mound. He started this game at first base. This is his 3rd inning on the mound. Swing and a miss. That ball looked like it skipped in the dirt, but Aiden Zimmerman went chasing for it. Zimmerman batting .263 on the year. He's lined out to center field so far today. And that one, boy, that looked like it almost hit him. It's called strike 3. We'll call it a generous call. The ball did bend a little bit as it came toward the plate. The question is, did it actually cross the plate? We'll look at it here in a minute as George Gardner stands in. That's called on the corner. Here's another look brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. He backed up. I'm not sure that ball crossed the plate. You're going to have questionable balls and strike calls. There's been a lot of talk about the robo-ump in baseball. They don't have that in high school. That's grounded to short, and Cam Ronner with a high throw, but it's pulled down. Brody Clear pulls it out of the air. Clear did not start this game at first. Came in after Easton Rowe made the move to the mound. And we'll get another look at that replay after this first pitch to Mason Martinez. It is upstairs. Here's a look at the replay. It's brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Ronner fields it out in front. Was a high throw, but Clear not only able to make the catch, but able to keep his foot on the bag as that ball must have skipped around the plate. Martinez, the 9-hole hitter, has walked and scored the only run for Bellmont in this game. There's the 2-0. Slapped the other way. Down for a hit. Throw will not come to first. Saul Frank was thinking about it, but it's a 2-out single for Martinez. And that breaks up the no-hitter. A 2-out single for Martinez, and that will send the top of the order to the plate. Will Baker will hit next. Right now there's nobody warming in the pen for Heritage. We do have a mound visit for the Patriots. There have been times where Rowe has struggled to find the strike zone. However, here he's gotten the strikeout of Zimmerman on the first at bat, then got Gardner to ground out. Martinez made good contact there on that last at bat. Just dumped it into right field, right in front of Corbin Salfrank. And you got Will Baker, a good hitter, coming to the plate. Baker batting .329. Leads Bellmont in RBIs. Martinez, the big secondary lead, but he did not go. Slapped the other way. That's down for a base hit. Martinez making the turn for third, and he's going to get there. He'll be held at third, and it's runners on the corners for the Braves. Back-to-back hits for Bellmont, and they're still very much in this game. That's how the threat started for Heritage. In the bottom of the third, now here in the top of the fifth, Bellmont has the tying run in scoring position. Mason Martinez with an opposite field hit, and then Will Baker with a base knock the other way. They call that first pitch upstairs to Lane LeMaster. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. He's also walked. LeMaster is hitting .265 on the year. He's got 4 RBIs and an RBI chance. Right now ahead in the count 2-0 with a chance to either tie this game with a hit or load up the bases with a walk. Could even give Bellmont the lead with an extra base hit. That's called a strike, 2-1. On the ground, gloved at second. A little short flip to short, and Ronner's got it. Landry Linder makes the toss, and the inning is over. Again, Heritage gets out of a jam. We've played 4.5, going to the bottom of the fifth. We'll get a few more words from our sponsors here in just a second. Jolly Law Firm is the area's best criminal defense firm, helping defend the accused from the government, whether you are facing an OWI or any other criminal accusation. Jolly Law Firm is the answer. Sioka Cleaning and Restoration, providing commercial cleaning services, including janitorial, water damage, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services throughout Northeast Indiana. Well, on the Heritage side, it's worth mentioning that they've used 3 pitchers so far in this game and only surrendered the 1 run. Easton Rowe has just gone 3 innings, but when he's been in, Bellmont has been able to get to him. They just got 2 hits against him with 2 outs in the top of the fifth. Also managed to draw a walk. They've managed to draw a few walks in this game. Create several scoring opportunities even with just the 2 hits. 1 run coming in on an error, so we'll change that score to reflect that. There's been 1 error against Heritage, so far none against Bellmont. So you wonder if Heritage might start to go to the bullpen. We have seen Easton Rowe struggle to throw strikes a few times when he's been out there on the mound, but he's been able to battle back and get the ground balls, get the outs to close out the innings. Only run so far, again, coming on that error. Heritage will have the bottom third of the order coming up. Max Mireles, who was this game's starting pitcher for Heritage, comes to the plate to lead things off. He had a single to lead off the third, followed by a single by Mason Abbott. And then Elijah Ronner with a sacrifice ground out and a sac fly by Bo Stoppenhagen. Now, a wild pitch did allow both Mireles and Jackson Feasby. It was courtesy running for Abbott to move up an extra 90 feet. (1-0) upstairs, 2-0. I believe this is still Kagan Lee on the bump for Bellmont. If that's the case, that'd be his 2nd inning of work. Slap foul and out of play. Well, Morales was looking to do something similar to what he did last time he was up. Go the other way with that thing. Well, you went the other way with it. Just went backwards instead of forwards. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball off the plate. Mason Abbott on deck. He, like Morellis, went the other way the last time he was at the plate for a single. And now Morellis pulls it on the ground, and that's past Martinez. This time Morellis pulls the ball to the right side and gets his second single of the game. Well, here's Mason Abbott. Again, he singled his last time up going to the opposite field. He's been productive this year. 483, 7 RBIs. That's batting out of the 8-hole, and he's got 4 doubles. Going with the pink bat and gloves today. Well, Mother's Day is coming up. Haven't seen everybody going with the pink bat, but you are seeing that from Abbott so far today. That's called on the corner, 0-2. Heritage High School is part of the East Allen County Schools District that also features Woodland, New Haven, and Leo. Swing and a miss, kind of a half-hearted swing, and Abbott strikes out. Well, that'll send up the 9-hole hitter, Elijah Rauner. Now, he is batting .233 on the year. His average so far has not gone up for the season, but his last time up, he had a sacrifice ground out with runners on second and third, and he hit it to the left of first, to the right of Lane Lemaster. He had to range over to field it. His only play was to first, and that got a run home for Heritage. At the time, that was the tying run. This one is laced to the opposite field and down for a base hit. Morellis puts on the brakes at second. They had a chance to get him with the throw, but he got back in time. Well, Bo Stoppenhagen, the leadoff hitter, is back up. What did he do his last time up? He had a runner on third, and he hit a sacrifice fly. It was a line drive into right field that was just deep enough to get Jackson Feesby home. In the dirt, Whirling lost it, and the runners will move up 90 feet. Well, now if Stoppenhagen hits a fly ball to the outfield, depending on how deep it is, it might be one more run for Heritage. Now, if it's a base hit, it might be 2, depending on how sharply it's hit. Swing and a miss. Pitch had some break on it, and Stoppenhagen could not catch up to it. Infielders come in for Bellmont, looking at a play at the plate. You got to believe that's where the throw's going if they get a ground ball here. It's lined right to second. Martinez makes the catch. Everybody goes back, but it's out number 2. Martinez was played perfectly for that. Get a look at the replay after this next pitch to Cam Rauner. He comes up with 2 outs and 2 on. Infielders go back to normal depth with there being 2 outs. That's a good pitch right over the heart of the plate. Here's another look at that replay. Martinez was in the perfect place to make this catch. Line drive, but a low line drive, and Martinez able to snag it out of the air. On the ground, skip hops into the glove of Baker, and his throw is in time. Will Baker played it on a hop and got the out to keep it a 1-run game. And we'll get a look at that replay before we go to break. Replays again brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. This was not an easy hop. Oh, check that. That's the catch by Martinez, but that was instrumental. There's the skip hop and the play by Baker. He fields it on a hop. I think that actually hit off the cusp of the grass, and Baker's able to make the throw to first for the final out. We'll go to the sixth when we come back on SummitCitySports.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Now I'm in here working out, and it's helping me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders, you get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
Well, Heritage had a chance to add to their lead. Bellmont gets out of it. Some good defense on the part of the Braves, and we do have a new pitcher for the Patriots. That is Jackson Feasby. He comes in with an ERA of 1.75 on the year. He has a 1-0 record in 3 appearances. He's pitched a grand total of 4 innings, and right now Feasby at the very least is being asked to be the setup man, maybe even the closer. We'll see if he comes in for inning number 7. But right now he's in for inning number 6, trying to keep Bellmont within just 1. But Bellmont has gotten runners on base in every inning but the second. Last couple innings they've gotten runners into scoring position. It's Bo Baker to lead things off for the Braves. They got their first 2 hits of the game in the 5th inning, breaking up what at the time was a team no-hitter. Baker has struck out and been hit by a pitch so far in this game. Boy, that looked like it was inside. Not only inside, but downstairs. It's called strike 1. Kagan Lee on deck. It'll be Baker, Lee, and then Oliver Whirling. That one's down and away. 1-1. That ball laced into right center field, and that's down for a hit. Bo Baker with a leadoff single right in front of Saul Frank. And Bellmont has the tying run on base. That's the Braves' 3rd hit of the game. Here comes Kagan Lee. He's 0 for 1 and has been walked today. Throw back to first. And Rowe lost the ball. Baker didn't see it in time. Didn't travel very far either. Rowe had been the pitcher the last 3 innings. He's had the longest outing on the mound of anybody for Heritage today. Bunt dropped down. Feasby gathers, goes to first. Lee does the job. The runner gets to second. The tying run in scoring position with 1 down so far. Here in the top of the 6th. Here's Oliver Whirling. Whirling, a .310 hitter coming into this game. 4 RBIs and a base hit right here might just be enough to tie this game. Line drive. Picked up over at short. Rawner with the scoop and the throw to first. Rowe able to keep his foot on the bag for out number 2. That will move the runner. It is out number 2, but the tying run is now a little bit closer. That was a hot shot, and Cam Rawner scooped it up. We'll show it to you probably after this next pitch. It looks like we have a pinch hitter. This would be Gavin Kroll's spot. Cameron Freet is now the batter. He takes a first pitch strike. Now Cameron Freet, in addition to Whirling and Kroll, plays both baseball and volleyball, both in the spring. Pitch looked like a ball, but it looked like it was called a strike by the home plate umpire. That ball's laced into left field and down for a hit. Stoppenhagen couldn't get it. Freet with a pinch hit RBI single, and we are tied. And now the go-ahead run is on base. Cameron Freet, a huge at-bat and base knock to even up the score for Bellmont. Here's another look at it on our Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning replay. Stoppenhagen had a chance, but he can't pull it in. He makes that catch. It's 2-1, and the inning's over. Instead, Cameron Freet delivers, and Bellmont has tied this game. So the leadoff single pays dividends for Bellmont. Baker was the one who got the leadoff single, then got to third on those back-to-back groundouts, the bunt by Lee and then the ground out by Whirling. And I think we might have another pitching change coming up here. Umpires are discussing with each other. Feasby's staying out there. I think it's just a mound conference. Thought it might be a pitching change, but I think it's just a mound conference on second look. Again, we've got more baseball coming up for you after this game gets done. Garrett versus Columbia City. Columbia City is conference rivals with Bellmont, both in the Northeast 8 Conference. There will be a courtesy runner. That's Kroll. Starting right fielder for Bellmont, who comes back in to courtesy run. Cam Freet was batting in the spot that Kroll hit in. Here is Aiden Zimmerman. He bounces that first pitch foul. They'll move the count to 0-1. Right now, both Garrett and Columbia City are on the first base side. Some of the Garrett players are in the upper seats over in section 105 on the first base line. Columbia City, their entire team is right next to the dugout or right across the aisle from it. That's on the corner for a called strike 2. George Gardner would hit next. There goes the runner, Kroll. The pitch is high, no throw. Kroll advances on catcher's indifference. Heritage more focused on the hitter right now, especially with a 2-strike count and 2 outs. But now the go-ahead run is in scoring position. That ball skips in the dirt. Zimmerman hitting .263 on the year. So far has just 2 RBIs, but a base hit here would give him RBI number 3 and give his team the lead. That's a well-hit ball to center field, but Taylor tracks it down. And we remain tied, but Bellmont evens up the score. Cam Freet with a pinch hit RBI single. Give you another look at it on a replay brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Freet with a line drive, and Stoppenhagen could not make the stop that time. And Bo Baker's leadoff single pays off as he moved up an extra 90 feet on a couple of groundouts, and that allows Bellmont to even the score at 2 apiece. Bellmont 5-8. They play in a tough conference, the Northeast 8 Conference, and right now they are 0-3 in conference play. Played the likes of Huntington North and Norwell. I believe they have played Columbia City already. And there will be more challenging games to come in the NE8 against teams such as DeKalb and Leo. Those teams have not lost a single conference game, although Leo has lost home games at the hands of Bishop Dwenger and Bishop Luers, both out of the SAC. Do plan to have a few Leo games on Summit City Sports coming up. They've got a home game against DeKalb on May 20th. Then they'll close out the regular season by hosting Homestead in a doubleheader on Saturday, May 24th. As we go to the bottom of the 6th here at Parkview Field. Easton Rowe, Landry Linder, and Lucas Taylor coming up for the Heritage Patriots. Easton Rowe's 1 for 2 so far. He singled his last time up, struck out his first time up. They do call him Ice on the Heritage Ball Club, as that pitch looked to be at the top of the zone. Instead, it's called just atop of the zone, or on top of the zone. 1-0 the count. That went well downstairs. 2-0 the count. By the looks of things, I think Garrett is heading over toward the batting cages, or they're making their way down the concourse. That's laced into center field for a base hit. Well, they call him Ice. Rowe had ice in his veins on that last at bat. It's a leadoff single. Well, what's so special about a leadoff single, you might ask? Well, in a tie ball game, you want to get that leadoff man aboard, and that's exactly what just happened with Heritage. And we might see a pitching change here. I think that's Aaron Baker. Looked like he just called for the ball. Nope, he does not have the ball. So maybe just a mound visit. Trying to help calm Lee down. Well, I don't know if there are any good vibes in a 2-2 ball game. Heritage trying to come up with a go-ahead hit or go-ahead run, whether they get it via hit or not. They've gotten a hit to lead off this inning. Bellmont trying to keep it a tie ball game going into the 7th, give themselves a chance to win. Landry Linder, the batter, with 1 on and nobody out. Linder pops up the bunt, and that is going to drop foul. Rowe didn't hardly move there, it looked like. And for Heritage, it's a good thing he didn't. Well, you understand putting down a bunt here. Leadoff man aboard, you want to take away the double play, and again, just 1 run gives Heritage the lead, but in this case, Linder swinging away, and it's 0-2. You got to think the bunt's probably coming off here. Lucas Taylor on deck. Taylor has not had a lot of fly balls come his way in center field, but the ones that have come his way, he's been able to make the catch as Rowe dives back into first. Linder's fielded his position well at second base. He pops this one up. Behind the plate is Whirling. He's got it. Huge first out for the Braves, and most important thing there is not only do you get the out, but the runner does not move. In some ways, that's even better than a strikeout. Because even on a strikeout, a runner can steal a base, but pop out goes to foul territory. And that runner's got to hold his ground. There's a first pitch strike to Taylor. Landon Lieberger on deck. There's a lot of room on that right side. Taylor takes inside. Taylor's reached on a fielder's choice and grounded out to second. Those have been his only at-bats so far. Looked like Whirling was trying to frame that at the top of the zone, but it did appear to be upstairs, and the count goes to 2-1. Garrett versus Columbia City is next, but we could be in for a fun finish between Bellmont and Heritage. Well hit fly ball into left field, but that's playable. That's Zimmerman over toward the line. He makes the catch. And Landon Liebarger comes out with 2 outs and 1 on. That's the go-ahead run that's at first. Liebarger trying to keep the inning going and at the very least get Easton Rowe over into scoring position. Got Max Morales, who's made good contact on deck. A little breaking ball that time. 0-1 to start out with Liebarger. He's the DH, hitting in Corbin Solfrank's spot. Solfrank is the right fielder, but not in the batting order today. And that one bends across the corner. Deceptive pitch. A little breaking ball from Kagan Lee. And he's got a chance to get out of this inning unscathed after the leadoff single. There goes the runner. Laced into right center field. That's down for a base hit. Rowe is being waved around, sliding in center field and bobbling it is Gardner. And Rowe is in to score. Heritage takes the lead. Rowe got a huge jump over there from first base. It's definitely going to go down as a hit. Not sure if they'll give Liebarger the RBI, but he does get the base hit. An aggressive base running by the first baseman, Easton Rowe. And it's 3-2 Heritage. First pitch swinging by Morales, and he fouls it off. Here's another look at that replay brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. There's the jump by Rowe, and then Liebarger puts it into the gap. Good spot as far as where he hit the ball is concerned. But then the bobble out in center field by Gardner cost Rowe. He was going all the way. And there was no hesitation as to whether or not they were going to send Easton Rowe, and he made it all the way in from first. How often do you see a first baseman score all the way from first on a single? Well, we just saw it here at the PSM Baseball Classic. We've seen lots of things here at the PSM Baseball Classic. Of course, one of the memories I have was being here when Maddox Wright of the Concordia Cadets threw a no-hitter against the Wayne Generals. I think Dean Lehrman was announcing a change to the home plate umpire. It's a change that we may see in the 7th inning. It looks like Liebarger is going to go and throw some warm-up tosses in the pen. They had a courtesy runner out there for him at first. So Liebarger, the DH, is pulled as this ball is lifted out to right field. Gavin Kroll makes the catch. Heritage takes the lead, and now Bellmont will look to rally in the 7th when we come back on SummitCitySports.com. This is the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic.
Ago, I was diagnosed with a 3rd-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
The future is what you make it, so make it matter. At the University of St. Francis, we'll help you build a purposeful life, one based on your interests, goals, and desire to make the world a better place. Learning is personal here. You'll be known by name, supported by experts, and connected to professional opportunities. Our Catholic values will inspire you to use your education for the greater good by serving and leading others. Remember, the future is what you make it. Build a life of meaning and purpose at St. Francis. You belong here.
Landon Liebarger gets the base hit that gives Heritage the lead, and now he is on, I do believe. Check that. I think that's Liebarger still throwing in the pen. Number 15, the designated hitter who could be coming on in relief. It was Jackson Feasby who was pitching in the top of the sixth, did give up the tying run in that frame. And Bellmont has put runners on base in every inning so far. Yes, that is Feasby who's still on the mound for Heritage. Here's another look at that go-ahead base knock by Liebarger. Now, he found the gap, got a single out of it. Easton Rowe got a big jump, and they wasted no time sending him around third. And it's bobbled out in center field by George Gardner. And Rowe comes home to score the go-ahead run. And here we are in the top of the seventh. Heritage trying to close it out. For Bellmont, it's rally cap time. Will Franz is batting in Gardner's spot. Bounding ball hit towards short. Rauner scoops it, bobbles it, but throws it in time. Little bobble on the exchange there, but Rauner able to gather himself and gather out number one. Mason Martinez, who's officially 1 for 1 and has scored a run, comes to the plate. 1 for 1 with a walk, and he gets hit by that pitch. Martinez has not yet been retired in this game, and that will hold up for the time being. He now represents the tying run as Will Baker is next to hit. He's 1 for 3 today. Throw back to first. A tag a little bit late. Martinez a good runner. Hitting out of the 9 hole, but he's got some speed on the bases, and we've seen it today. Gets his secondary, but will not go off to second. At least not yet, he won't. Martinez represents the tying run. Baker currently represents the go-ahead run. Right now, at the very least, trying to move that runner over. You notice they're letting him swing away. So he's trying to not only move that runner over, but get himself on base as well. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. Boy, Feasby has missed well inside these last few pitches. They did have Liebarger taking some warm-up tosses in the pen. We'll see if Lehrman makes a call to the pen, depending on what happens with this at-bat. Got the call, bottom portion of the zone there, 3-1. That's laced right to third. Throw comes to first. Ball game. Elijah Rauner with a cannon from third. And Heritage has won. A 5-3 double play. And Heritage is the winner. We will show you that replay one more time here in just a second. As always, our replays are brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Here's a look at it. This ball was absolutely laced, and Rauner snatched it. Big jump by Martinez, and unfortunately for him, he pays for it. Rauner makes his throw right on the money to get the final 2 outs of the game. And Heritage a winner. They go to 12-1 on the season. Bellmont, despite as well as they battled, they fall to 5-9 on the year. And our Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game is going to be none other than the guy that made that catch. Elijah Rauner played his position well at third, then caught the second to last out before throwing to first for the last out. He also came up with an RBI in this game on a sacrifice ground out. Elijah Rauner, the Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game. As Heritage wins 3-2 over Bellmont in game number 1. We've got Garrett versus Columbia City coming up in a little bit. For my cameraman Matt Jackson, this is Thad Goff saying so long for now from Parkview Field. We'll be back a little close to 7 o'clock as we bring you Garrett versus Columbia City. You're watching the Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Classic here on SummitCitySports.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Now I'm in here working out, and it's helping me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders, get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.